guys! So today we are going to learn about one of my favorite things to teach second graders. In fact, it was the lesson we were supposed to teach before we were no longer allowed in the school anymore. It's just one of my favorite topics because we get to play a ton of instruments. And unfortunately, I couldn't just give you guys all of my instruments. So you're going to have to learn about it a little differently this time around. But once we get back in the school, I promise we will get your hands on some of these instruments to do this lesson. So today we are going to be talking about unpitched percussion instruments. Now we know that percussion instruments are instruments that you somehow hit or shake or scrape to make a sound. So a percussion instrument could be a tambourine. You can hit it, you can shake it, percussion. Another instrument that I have at my house right now is our metallophone. And our metallophone, once again, you're hitting. And we have actually a ton more instruments here right now. I grabbed a whole box of them before we weren't allowed in the school anymore. So first of all, we have to talk about the difference between pitched and unpitched percussion. It's pretty simple. Basically, pitched percussion is percussion instruments that have notes on them. So I just showed you the metallophone, and our metallophone we know, just like our xylophones and our marimbas, our glockenspiels, they all have notes on the bars. Each bar has a special note. That makes it pitched because those notes are pitches. Another instrument that we have that is pitched percussion is our boom whackers. You guys have seen the boom whackers on my wall. They all have letters on them. They're pitches. Our handbells that the sixth graders play at Christmas time all have pitches on the bells. So that's our pitched percussion. You're hitting them to make the sound, and they all have letters on them that tell you which pitch they are. But today we're talking about unpitched percussion, which is all of the other stuff. That's almost everything we have in the music room right now. So that includes, like I said, our tambourine. I grabbed my wood block. I've got a little baby drum. And I've got, maracas. And, I'm not done. I grabbed a lot. I grabbed sandblocks. And last but not least, of course, I couldn't do this lesson without a triangle. The triangle is my dad's favorite instrument. So, all of this unpitched percussion, there's no note on it. There's no A, B, C, D, E, F, or G on this. These can belong into 3 different families. And you can tell which family they belong to based on how you are making the sound from the instruments. So your 3 families are wood, metal, and skin. So for example, we have our wood block, which I'm guessing you probably know, is a wood instrument. It is made out of wood, but more importantly, the sound comes from you hitting the wood of the instrument. So our triangle, we know the sound comes from hitting right here, the metal part of the instrument. There is this little string part, but we don't hit that part to make the sound. We hit the metal part. Another instrument we have, our buffalo gathering drum. This one might be a little harder because this drum is made out of plastic. It's not made out of wood, it's not made out of metal, and it's not made out of skin. But we know that these drums would have originally been made out of animal skin. Now it's cheaper to make it out of plastic. So our drums, all of our drums belong to the skin family. In fact, we only have one drum in the music room that's made from actual animal skin, and it is this little one. A parent who was in Africa actually found this drum at a market. It's made out of goat skin. You can see it's a little rougher. And he brought it back for me so that I could have an actual skin drum to show you guys. So when we get back to the music room, we'll have to all feel the texture of this skin instrument. Another one that might be kind of tricky is our maracas, because once again, these are plastic. But originally maracas would have been made out of wood. In fact, we have some wooden maracas in the music room, but instruments made out of wood are really expensive. In fact, our wood blocks, believe it or not, are some of our most expensive instruments. And we know that wood instruments break really easily. That's why we're really careful with our wood blocks. So a lot of music teachers get plastic instruments instead of wood instruments because it's cheaper and they don't break as much. But most of our plastic instruments are actually going to be originally wood instruments. The final instrument we gotta look at, this is the tricky one, is the tambourine. This one's so tricky because there's wood on it. It has that skin. It's actually fake skin. It's just paper, but it would have been originally skin. And it's got metal jingles on it. It's got all three, which is very tricky, I think. So if you play the tambourine, what you have to listen for is what is actually making the sound, though, when you play the tambourine. Are you hearing a wood sound like the wood block? Are you hearing a drumming sound? Or what you hear, is it the metal jangles? So the answer for that is it's the metal jangles making that sound. When you listen to it, you hear the metal hitting. And so that makes this a metal instrument because it's about the sound. It's not about what it's made of, but what part of the instrument is making that sound. And that can be the tricky thing. So what you're gonna do is I have some review slides because I know this video is so long and some of you are probably falling asleep already. So I have all of this information on a couple slides now, and then there's a little quiz for you to try to figure out which music room instrument belongs in which category. And then there's also some other fun activities for you to do to kind of just practice understanding your percussion instruments and do a little drumming yourself. So have fun, guys.